There is just this present moment right here. Just where you are while you're watching this video. There is just this. There's nothing else. And it's just to experience just what's here in your direct experience. So just experience this. Just experience just what's here rather than what you think should be here, what you think should be happening, what you need to get, what you need to do. That's always a forward movement. And I would just invite you to rest just here with what is here right now and to feel into your direct experience of just what is this present moment, this feeling sense of being before you do anything. So it's just resting as your true nature, the essence of who you are, the essence that everybody is prior to the personalities of the people we think we should be, people we have grown to identify with. You know, what's before that? Let's empty out that basket. Let's completely empty out that basket and sit with what's here. Just this. I invite you to open up your focus if you feel you're in your head and questioning what I'm trying to get you to do, because it's not a doing, it's just a being. And a being is just, actually, let's just be. I know it sounds obvious. So it is really simple. But if we're used to that idea of a separate self that's got to get something, it can be that it needs a little bit of getting used to just being with what is right here, right now, because that is the essence of who you are. That is your true self. Just this very moment, right here. Just what's here now, before anything else is imagined, anything else is brought into being. We don't bring anything into being. We are the being. We don't look for presence. We are the presence. It's just a resting as just this. And just this is what's here now. So it really is the power of now. It really is the power of just this moment, because actually this is all we've ever got. It's always just this moment. It's so important because there's nothing else. There's just this. It's always going to be this present moment. And, you know, this present moment is all right. There might be a lot going on in your life that you have to leave this present moment to pick up, because actually what's here now without the mind, all of that, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but we're just not picking it up. It's out there in the life of Colette, or whatever your name is. So we're not denying it, but right here, right now, there's just this present moment, just the space to be, just resting as just this. I mean, I love pointing to this because it's so delicious. So, yeah, happily point to this, even though my tumble dryer is making a beeping noise, if you can hear that, sorry. But you know, that's what's happening. It's all happening, and it's happening actually in this. So it feels like there's a world out there, and that's sort of how I described it, just to give you a gist of resting back. But actually, once you've rested back enough, you realise that you are this and you are everything. Everything is in you and you are everything, but not as the individual. That's sort of where I was pointing to, the individual out there with a life. You are life. So you see how it's claiming everything, but not that separate person claiming everything, not the ego claiming everything. Just the fact that we are all everything. All of us are everything. All of us are the same thing, the same one thing, expressing as many. And sometimes silence is more powerful than words. So if I sit here in silence, it's because that's more valuable. That's pointing to the essence of who you are prior to the mind, prior to words. There's nothing to say because it's just this, the simplest, easiest, non-doing thing. I invite you to marinate in just this, just your true nature, just your there's no words for this, it's what's here all along, prior to being given a name. You know, that's why I emptied out that basket, because it's prior to that. So if you just sit with who you were or what you were before the identification of a person in the world with a name, just your essence, just this. You know, there's lots of things we could attach to this, but it's already too much. This is your most magical, simplest expression of life. We're all just expressions of life. And we are life. We are that open, alert, awake, pure potentiality. And there's no agenda here. Already whole and complete. Nothing to get. Just here. I know life, as a separate person, has all its challenges and things to do. But quite interestingly, the more you rest as who you are, and then you walk as that in the world, because you're not heavily identified anymore. You actually realise that as you walk in the world, you walk as this. So there's just air walking. That's what it feels like. It feels like there's just air. And then when you do things like brush your teeth, you think it's just no separate person brushing their teeth. It's just life in the shape of Colette brushing her teeth. There's no solid structure. No, the identity is softened. All I don't know, you know, I could say it's gone. I don't know whether it's gone. I don't know. I'm just experiencing what I'm experiencing. I don't know anything. I'd have to be a separate person that's gained lots of knowledge to be able to say anything other than it's just your direct experience. So look for that. What's the truth for you? What's your felt sense of this, just this, prior to the mind offering you up ideas about this, the story about this, what you've heard about this? Just feel into this. That's all there is. That's all we've got. And actually it's very freeing just to be with what is, you know, what's occurring, what's happening. Stuff's happening all the time. But you are always this. So as everything's happening, you're this with everything happening. It's just we feel we get lost into the happening when we're always this. We feel like it's happening to a someone, a solid structure that's contracted and bound and got to do and feels separate and vulnerable and wants to be loved and wants to have security, feels safe. And as that separate person, that's completely understandable because it's separate. But actually, just feel into what's already here. That's where the freedom lies. And then you can walk as this in the world. You already are. There is nothing other than this. But we just feel like we're the separate person. It's the lens of separation that we pick up and then it colours our world. It colours this. It never does. It feels like it colours this. So it very much feels like you're lost and you're vulnerable. But this is always here. This is that, playing as this, as that. That might be a bit confusing, sorry. Let's just sit with this again. Because every time I go out, you see, it feels like you go out to just rest back as this. This is it. It's like we complicate it trying to explain it instead of just saying, do this, do nothing. Empty the mind just for a while. Don't pick it up. Put the lid on the mind. Stay here. You can't lose this. It's who you are. So even when you feel like you've lost it and the mind is offering you tickets of separation, you haven't lost it. You can't lose it. It's who you are. Not the separate you, the universal you. The universal I. When you say I am, it's the universal I, not the individual I. See, I'm saying too much again. It's just this. You know, I could describe this. I could say can you find the boundary of the body when you go to the inside and the outside? And I do say that to people when I'm walking them through this, to this. I mean, it's not to this because you are this. All the language is ridiculous. So you know, I could say that. I could go through exercises. But it doesn't feel right today. It just feels like, let's just sit together. And the together can feel like two people as the same one expression, same one world, the same essence of being. So it's appearing as two, but where's the separation? See, I'm describing it again. I just have to sit here in silence. And I invite you to sit here with me in silence. So, anything I add is already too much. So I shall leave you in silence.